Welcome back to The Good Talk, our post-game recap and Q&A show where we discuss the game that we just played and answer all your burning questions, both Warhammer and otherwise. We just came off of an awesome game, our first game with the brand new Nockmund missions. Thank you so much to Games Workshop for sending us an advanced copy. These go on pre-order today, come out in 1 week. We tried some new lists, we tried some new tactics, we laughed, we dreamed, we cried. It was amazing.
One of us cried a lot.
One of us cried more than others. It was, of course, Necrons versus Death Guard.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
All right.
Yeah.
You're okay?
I made it through.
You made it through.
You got to the other side.
You did, yeah. You had...
Toughed it out.
Wow. A rough time.
I feel like there were definitely flaws in my strategy.
Okay.
At many points. However, I was punished very badly for any mistakes that I did make. And even times where I don't think I necessarily made a mistake, I was punished very badly.
Yeah.
Everything I tried to do kind of floundered.
Yeah.
Left me hanging out there. I put myself forward.
It's the world.
And I just got shut down every time.
Right from the start, you had the 3 scarabs on the point with 5+ invuln, and you had the fetid bloat drone that was going to try to go in and take them out. And you weren't wrong that you probably wanted a little bit something in your favor, right? So you killed one, but that ended up increasing the charge by 1 inch, only to a 7. But that meant you didn't make it in. So it was little things like that.
Yeah.
And even that one, I don't even know that it was the wrong call, but it was so clearly what cost the charge and cost a ton of points. So it's weird,
It's tough because if you leave it up to just the bloat drone in combat, he has to kill all 3 scarabs to get the point. And it's that's not the most likely.
No, he needs 2 through.
With the
I've got the invulns. I got my reroll.
It's not gonna. Yeah,
it's dicey. Pun intended.
But it's pretty much every time the next turn I had to what?
It was me.
Pretty much the next every turn.
I know.
It just got worse. And this is kind of a recurring theme in games with me, where I'll take a risk. If it doesn't pay off, the next turn I have to take a proportionately larger risk to try to get back in the game. So I was like, okay, all right, it was bad, but we have a game plan. All right, if I put everything into the Silent King, absolutely everything, hopefully I can kill him, hold the middle, get back on points, get some momentum back, because I gave up units turn 1 to try and fail to do things.
Right.
And that also failed in a spectacular fashion. I killed the 2 Minears and then dealt 2 damage
You made
to the Silent King and failed every charge.
all the charges that you needed, really.
Yeah.
But we'll say the young prince held his own.
He did. He hung out.
Held his own.
Until
Well, the Silent King kind of whiffed back, right?
He did whiff back. Yeah, exactly. Between the -1 damage, the demon save, there was some uncertainty on the Silent King side too, or Silent K as we refer to him.
Silent K.
Going back at the young prince. So it was 2 turns of combat. Still didn't kill you.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the young king ran away, and you actually killed the Silent King, who then exploded, killing the young prince as he tries to fly away.
My turn 3 was glorious. It wasn't good, but it was glorious. So much happened.
Yeah.
It was really high tension turn. The perils, the boxcar perils with my 3-win Psyker to super smite plus D3 damage to the Silent King. But if I die, it's so bad because I get no damage to you and I explode just on my own army.
Right. So much drama.
Squeaks through, but then the damage was terrible on the smite. It was a 2 damage and a 2 damage.
Gosh, I will say, I really like your Wretched Psyker.
It's cool.
It actually is very interesting.
Not optimal play, but it's cool.
It's not, but it's not obviously bad play either. It's okay, it could be nicer if you had your efforts put somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I don't know, we really like these malignant play casters. Getting up there, double cast, they have their mortal wound splashing, which becomes even more powerful here. To the point where, you're I'm going to cast a spell over here just to proc another D3 over here.
Right.
I love that.
It's very cool. I don't think my loadout was perfect. So I took the 2 damage spells and he gets to know an extra spell, so I took Miasma. The Demon Prince had Miasma, and then the other Plague Caster just had the same 2 damage spells again.
Right.
Because I knew one of them was probably not going to cast. They're going to do interrogation.
Yeah.
If I were to not premeditatedly say I'm taking interrogation, I'd probably choose different spells for the other guy.
That's fair.
And that came back to bite me sometimes where I was like, man, I wish I could do anything else with these Psychers.
Right.
But one of them has to do the action.
Yeah.
And they have 2 casts, so them doing the action is not optimal. Really, you want the Demon Prince doing the action. But
Yeah, because it costs all your psychic, basically.
yeah, it takes your whole turn of Psychic to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I'm into Plaguecasters. The Demon Prince, somehow still disappointing. Demon Princes are just, they're not in the right place.
They're not in the right place. They don't feel like they're the end game for a Chaos Space Marine.
Right.
You have ascended, you become the most powerful you'll ever be, you have everything that you want, but they're just not, they need to be a bit more right now. I agree.
Right, yeah. I don't even know what it is they need, but they need something. Their Psychic is middling, especially for Death Guard. For 1,000 Suns, I think they're fine.
But even then, like 1,000, like how often are you taking 1,000 Suns? Like when you're trying to truly compete, again,
Better options.
there's better options.
Yeah, there's better options. They get out competed.
In like a decent list or a fun list, they're great. But in a competitive list,
There's a lot of cute things you can put on the 1,000 Suns Demon Prince too, but it's
Right.
still like
yeah,
I think I'll just take a Exalted Sorcerer.
I think
yeah, that's the thing.
the problem is inherent to their design in that they are all over the place. They're doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
They're kind of like a buff character. They're kind of a combat character. They have a little bit of Psychic. And by design, they're going to be spread out. They're going to be like Jack of all trades. That's just not good in competitive anything.
Well, what about a Hive Tyrant? Hive Tyrant's a little bit like that, right?
They're
they suck
only
too,
Hive
though.
Tyrants are only good now because they're overtuned in all of those things.
But even then, in my opinion, even like crazy Crusher Stampede Hive Tyrants, they're only still really getting their worth when you have like a Relic and a Warlord trait on them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think they do need to be either flat out just more killy, or one of the other problems is they give the same buffs that other units can give.
Right.
Lord of Contagion, Inspiring Sorcerer, and they're frankly on a smaller package that costs less points.
Yeah.
And so maybe they give a unique buff that only they give. That's something you actually want.
Apart from wishlisting, just out of curiosity, does any Demon Prince have shooting other than just like the Bolter?
They have the Bile
one.
Spurt.
Yeah.
That one.
It's like a little flamer.
Yeah.
It's not
Real
good,
bad.
though. The Bolter. Do they still
The
have the Bolter
Infernal
in the
Bolt
book?
Gun is not in the Codex.
Oh, okay. They used to have the Bolter, and it was interesting.
I think it's not in the Codex anymore because it's not in the kit anymore.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you can't, or it was never in the kit.
Even the
right?
Plague Spurt is
Never.
weird.
Yeah.
Like it was never actually
Yeah.
a model.
And they never had a
People are
Bolter.
always surprised when you got shot by
Yeah,
a
they're just like,
Demon
"Whatcha?"
Prince.
Like,
You're
what?
like,
Where
Where'd
is
that
he
come from?
keeping it?
Right.
But speaking of things like Psychic Interrogation, we played the new missions. So I'm curious what the two of you think about the new missions from that first impression.
I mean, this was one of the more tame missions. This like looked like recognizable as a GT mission. I'm gonna sneeze.
No, I'm
not.
Well,
That was weird. I
was
did
a-
have to sneeze.
How rude.
And then acknowledging it made me not have to sneeze.
I will say this: of the three of us here today, Adrian is the only one that ever truly arrived. Bridger and I have been having a bit of a rough day today.
Wow.
I think
Wow.
your fault for you though was really just your dice. You just had some bad dice.
All right. Good recoveries. Good recovery.
For me, I don't
Not
know.
you as a person. You, it's as a person.
Me, it's as a person. I'm really into like the little bonus thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think it's just fun, and I like the way that it's taken the mission specific out, which you either always took or always never took.
Exactly.
Right, and now like it's just baked into the primary. That's fun.
Yeah.
But, so this is like one of the more tame missions. It's an old objective placement.
Is it?
Yeah, the plus existed before.
Oh. No, but it was horizontal. No, it wasn't even horizontal. I don't remember this one at all. Anyway, it's pretty standard though.
It's a pretty standard
Yeah. Sorry.
objective placement. It's a normal deployment zone.
See,
It's one of the less weird ones, right? But there's a lot of weird missions in here, and I'm excited to see where like the objectives are just in strange places. There's just lines going all over the place because the way GW shows where to put objectives.
Oh my
it's like
gosh, I love
you
it.
measure to
Like-
this, and then to that, and then over here, and then diagonal. And
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, couldn't you? I'm sure there's an easier. Why?
And again, like to the point you guys are making during the stream today, you were saying that whoever writes the Sigmar book does not communicate with the 40K.
Right.
And when you first open the Sigmar book and you see the grid everywhere, you're like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Right.
But then after you start playing, you're like, wow,
Right.
the grid is amazing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually great.
Because
yeah.
all you're doing is just kind of measuring like 11 inches all over
Right.
the place. Like
Yeah.
it's, why wasn't the grid used?
Well,
I
different
agree.
product manager.
yeah.
Zach.
Yeah.
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 They gotta get.
It's true.
Well, there is a very faint grid here. They just don't use it.
It's like a ceremonial grid.
This is like
A
not useful.
ceremonial grid.
But
I actually have studied that grid.
it's like pretend graph paper.
It's pretend graph paper.
Okay.
Yes, I think it was one of the most tame. I liked it. It was interesting. Excited to see more.
I want to see the weird ones. I want to play some real weird missions.
Look, if you want to play weird missions, you should play the 1,000 points because those are wild.
Yeah, they're
one of them literally
weird.
There's some of the objectives get removed.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
At first, I thought that was in the 2K. I was like, what?
But that's almost sort of what we were saying. We almost want it. We want it
some
to
ways,
almost
yeah.
be a different game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Shake it up.
There's
Shake
so
it
many
up, you
cool
know?
missions in here. I love new missions. I think we played the same 9 missions for so long.
Yeah.
I'm excited for new missions.
Exactly. All right. Well,
we
that's it for the game. If you guys do have questions about it, feel free to still ask it. However, we're going to jump into the questions and see what you guys want to know about.
We have a lot of questions and a lot of
Yeah.
good ones. A lot of Necron talk. Okay,
cool.
Here we go. Thank you, Maori. Maori?
Yep. He sneezed.
Excuse me.
Something is
I
up
muted
today.
myself. And notice how I unmuted myself, too.
Yeah. Okay, now look, real quick before we get to the questions, I will say that there was just a weird. Adrian always uses mic number 1.
Uh-huh.
I always use mic number 2.
Right?
Bridger always uses mic number 3.
Well.
Today there's a weird thing where Bridger just decided that him and I
No.
were switching mics.
No.
It was my bad.
was
What was
you.
me? I would
You
we were
put
like,
mics 2 and 3 on the table for us, and you kept mic 1 on your table.
This is when you were super loopy. I was like, "Where's Mike?" We're like, "Where's Mike 1?" And then you're like, "I don't have it. It's right here." Literally your statement.
He said,
But
he said, I don't have it, it's right here. And then he picked it
both
up.
of those things can be true. It's not the best way of saying it. I'll concede. All right. Well, anyway, that caused some problems because I muted Bridger while he was talking at one point, and then coughed loudly over him talking. Not the best streaming professional today. I thank you, fans, for sticking
Somebody
with
send
me.
me the timestamp of that, because I want to see that.
Yeah, it's early. It's in the intro. All right.
Oh no! It's in the intro. That could have
Maori.
been someone's first experience.
I
on the
know.
channel.
I know. I'm so sorry. All right, fans. Thank you for putting up with me. All right. Thank you, Maori.
Thank you.
Bridger has said that Necrons are fundamentally broken, and point changes alone cannot fix them. Can you please elaborate for me?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. So there are things in the game, and we saw this with AdMech, where if the gameplay design is not conducive with missions or like is just fundamentally, let's say they had no rules. They had no army-wide rules. Their data sheets were all blank. They were playing like vanilla kill team with just guns and stuff. Just blank data sheets with stats. Obviously, points aren't going to fix that. That's not going to play well. It's not going to be interesting. It's not going to be fun. When it wins games, it will win games by a landslide. When it loses games, it will lose games by a landslide, and in uninteresting ways. There was no way to play around it. There's no strategy. It's just like, I shot you with my guns and you died. That's not cool, right?
Yeah.
Necrons are kind of in that position where most of their rules are so insubstantial. It's like, well, if you jump through these 3 hoops, you get a single piece of candy. And you're like, but I wanted dinner, right? Like, I came to your restaurant for a meal. I didn't come to do a show for you for a piece of candy. So Necron rules, they're just not exciting. They're not interesting. Their effects are pretty minimal. And if you fix these units by points, if you make them competitive through points, they just end up in the place where AdMech was right before they got a book, where like they were actually kind of good. Mm-hmm. They didn't have all these crazy rules that they have now, but they were kind of good, and in a way where they just crush you with stats. They're just like, well, I have more models than you, and my models shoot good. They shoot real good, and now you're dead. Yeah. That's not cool. Nobody wants to see Necrons like that. We want to see Necrons giving out cool buffs and using their protocols that actually have impact, and you want to see all the Mancers mancing.
Many Mancers.
It seems like lowering points never fixes anything that needs help. Maybe sometimes I feel like raising points a little bit can help something that's OP'd though, because it'll shut a list down, right?
Yeah.
It'll end a list.
Because something that conversely does have good rules, but is just a little too cheap, then you kind of can adjust it a bit one way or the other. Where it's just like, okay, well, these raiders are just getting spammed too much. These squid buggers are getting spammed too much.
Right.
Then you can use it as a deterrent.
Right, and you can very clearly know. I mean, this just happened in Sigmar Daughters of Cain with the snakes that your dad was playing against.
Oh my
you.
God.
They knew that if they bumped them up a certain amount, it ended one list.
Right.
That people were taking.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. It's interesting.
I think along the same lines, the stratagems for Necrons are all, like, they're all okay. They're all incremental buffs, but we want more exciting, more interesting strats where it's like, in this situation, you get to do something you normally can't do rather than get 1 extra AP, take away cover.
Right. This was one of the few games where I felt like I was pretty consistently spending command points because I accepted the fact that I don't have many strats that I actually care about, and I kind of knew the few ones that I want to keep spending on over and over and over again. Because usually, a lot of the time when we or other people play Necrons, it's like, I have all these command points, and I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go, you know?
Right.
So
you end up just doing Whirling Dervish over and over again.
Whirling Dervish.
And then, like, command point reroll.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way, Benjamin. I don't think I gave you a thank you during our game.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Big thank you, yeah. Okay, jumping down to our current timeline. Here we go. Thank you, James. He says, hey guys, hoping to enter my first ever tournament next month.
Nice.
What are the best questions to ask opponents on their lists? Any other advice? Worried I'll be super slow or mess up the rules. And he says, good luck at LVO. Thanks, James.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dane. This is a great question.
Yeah.
That is a great question.
So there's a few big categories of things or the style of things you want to ask for. Do you have a way to take away objective secured?
Yeah.
So OBSEC is just a fundamental rule. You want to know if they can turn it off. Do you have the ability to move again with a unit? What are some other ones?
Well, what you just said there for me is a big one about 40k and Sigmar. I like to ask, talk to me about somebody that can like make it to my side of the board and turn around.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Just
good.
in general, I want to know who's gonna haul butt across the board.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Fight last,
Fight last.
redeploy.
Redeploy.
Scout deploy, deep strike.
Yeah.
Out of line of sight fire.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Absolutely.
But also,
Bodyguard rule.
you'll, to some extent, some of these things you'll know. You will, James, as you kind of read about the meta and just read what's going on, watch battle reports, you'll kind of know, like, you know, back in 8th, Tower famous for all their out of line of sight, ignore cover shooting. And like, you kind of knew when you rolled up to the table that could happen.
Right, and you can be like, okay, well, I know this is a thing with the army. I just need to find out where it is.
Where
you know,
and
be
how
like, okay,
much.
So does this unit have the thing, and you know, who has this thing that you know you're kind of looking for?
Right.
Weirdly now, -1 damage and transhuman are so ubiquitous that those are kind of making the list for me now. Where it's like, I know you
Any
have
-1
this
damage?
somewhere. Where's all your -1 damage?
Yeah.
What can I never kill on Custodes?
Right.
Totally. Yeah, that's the core ones, really.
Good luck on your tournament, in your tournaments, James, when you get going.
Have fun.
Thank you, Omnissiah Sphinx. Hey, Titans, what point change did you like, and what made you cry?
All the Custodes point changes were great.
They were great.
They were awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big fan of them. The Blight Lords I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me personally, the Beast Boss on Squigosaur went up 30 points.
That is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
That's not how it would fix that model. Because that model, the problem was you would take like 1 and he was invincible. Because you would stack relics and warlord traits on him. But that's a problem with the warlord traits and relics, not with the chassis. Like the person who's playing in the garage with 3 because they love the model.
Yeah.
And they'll just take 3 detachments of orcs to get 3 squig bosses.
Yeah.
They're like crying right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're not the person who needed to be hurt by this.
Right. Yeah. And it's a little, again, I don't want to be negative, but it is a problem of sort of delays of these things. Because frankly, like the bosses on foot are coming back in style, just as this guy's getting a point spike.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting question that's deeper that maybe we don't have time to go into now. But if they don't fix things with points, we do see other fixes so rarely, once every couple of years.
Well, they've announced
twice a year maybe.
They've announced now they're gonna have a quarterly balance update, right?
great.
They're gonna change, like they changed Necrons and give them a bunch of core and stuff. They changed Knights to give them count as many models.
Yeah.
Like that was a great change.
Those are great. I'm excited for more of those.
So it'll be nice to see in a couple months. Maybe they'll fix orcs.
Yeah, and they've certainly done this in the past. You've been playing this game for many years, and things have gone up and down and back up again as things change. It might take a little bit longer might take a little bit more time, but it's all good.
Oh, this is a really great question. Thank you, One Gamer Bro.
Thank you.
Hey, Titans. I was reading Trajan's Legendary Commander, Ara, and saw it says, when a unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll and wound roll of 1.
Yeah.
I feel this is a nerf. Am I reading it wrong?
A nerf from before it was just reroll hit rolls of 1 and wound rolls of 1.
So what they're saying is it's the A hit roll.
It's the wording that they've been
okay.
using
Right.
recently,
All
which
right.
is a little weird.
It is. It is.
It's start popping up maybe a few codexes back, right? We start seeing
This is
reroll a hit roll. It's like
the modern templating. It's when you make an attack. Well, every die roll is an attack.
right.
So every time you roll a die, you can reroll a hit roll and a wound roll of 1. The problem with that, because there is actually a problem with the way this is worded,
Yes.
is not the thing you've identified. You still reroll all of your 1s to hit for sure, and all of your 1s to wound for sure.
So for there, you're good. But it is a good time to flag the thing that you're about to bring up.
But it's like reroll a hit roll. In the new templating, that is any hit roll
Right.
and wound roll of 1.
Oh, you wanted to say reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1.
Correct. If they intend for it to only reroll 1s to hit, it should say reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1.
Or reroll a hit and wound roll of 1. No. Yes.
No, it should just because there's precedent.
Oh, no, that's what it
Morvenval
says. I
has
just reread it.
Morvenval has this exact ability,
Yeah.
and it is worded for Morvenval as reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1.
Morven Val.
Yeah,
And so this is probably what's creating.
No, but her. What?
I checked for sure. She
No,
has an ability.
She gives full rerolls.
She has another ability
Uh-huh.
because she has way too many abilities that says reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1.
But she gives out. She's Palatine as well. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting.
So
distracted.
what they want you to do to Trajan.
agree.
Okay, I got it. So what they want you to do to Trajan is he's got how many attacks does he have? Like
6.
so you roll the 6 dice. It doesn't matter what happens. You re-roll them again.
Well, he doesn't get his buffs.
He doesn't.
But-
right.
Oh, okay.
But he
So
does have a
whoever
warlord
attacks
Do your
trait.
joke again, but
Whoever
slightly
attacks
different.
nearby, you just always re-roll whether they're hits or misses.
Yeah.
There's just like a for funsies.
It seems nitpicky, but like the way that they've worded it is new. It's different. They changed it from the way it was worded before,
Yeah.
and it's in the new style. But it's in the new style as reroll ambiguously. Maybe all the hits. Maybe hit rolls only of 1. Definitely only wound rolls of 1.
Right.
No, I got what you're saying. It could be like any hit rolls.
Right.
But
It depends
wound
on
rolls
where
is only
you
1.
put the emphasis in the sentence. You can
Yeah.
say reroll hit rolls. You wait. You pause. Reroll hit rolls. And wound rolls of 1. And now you're like, okay, yeah, I reroll hit rolls.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Or you say it quickly. You say reroll a hit roll and a wound roll of 1.
Yeah.
And you're like, does the F1 modify both?
Yeah.
We don't know. It needs an FAQ. Thanks, G-dubs.
It's interesting because I feel like there is a way, I'm guessing, but it might have to do with language or just the way maybe things are phrased in the UK versus in other English-speaking parts of the world.
Yeah.
I feel like there is a correct way to get this right, and it's a little, but
This should just be consistent
yeah.
and clear. Like the
So
of
some
one
things up, right?
It doesn't hurt.
Peter has posted the Abyss Sanctorum rule. Wait, no, don't.
Oh, down here. Okay.
So it says, unit is within 6 inches, friendly unit or its core unit is within 6 inches of this model. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1 and reroll a wound roll of 1.
Right.
That's how this should be worded if the intent is that he's a captain and lieutenant,
Right.
not Gilliman.
Right.
Not Gilliman.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know which way they want me to
We're
play
not
it.
trying to be difficult. It's
We're
literally,
not.
it's very confusing.
And again, I almost hate to take this back or to dwell on it, but can I ask, what is, maybe I'm not seeing it, why has it moved to this instead of just being, so this is her rule, re-roll, hit rolls of 1. Why, what is with
Why
the-
not reroll all? Like, why not the multiple?
Or
Yeah,
why
why
not
is
failed?
the use of the word, yeah, or something
So
like
the reason
that.
for that is because of the stack, which I know doesn't exist, is terrible. Where, for example, technically,
Oh, no, stack, I know it's you.
yeah. So if I'm hitting on threes, does this still apply?
It's just modern templating. It's like this triggers for all of your attacks
No, because you could
individually.
No, but it does change it because you could reroll successful ones. That's what he's asking.
Yeah,
about.
like
so theoretically you could fish for 6s, right?
Oh, I see.
If you need more wins on 6s, you can reroll those.
But there also
Right.
used to be reroll all
We were all
I know.
in 8th edition templating.
And Lion is also using another thing I was thinking about. Like, what about the use of the word any? But then that gets to the problem you're talking about, right?
I think fishing is fine.
I do too. I almost
Yeah.
think it's preferable to weird language.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, let's not
In theory, the old system, the way it was worded, where it says whenever a unit is activated, you may reroll all hit rolls.
Yeah.
That blanket applies to all of the rolls. So in theory, if you want to reroll anything, you have to reroll everything. If you're like really technical about it, which nobody was, because
Right.
that's clearly not what they meant.
What about just
Now,
reroll unmodified ones or
it's
something?
individual triggers.
he's saying
it's
it's-
like every time you
yeah,
roll a
yeah.
die, you get to choose, do I want to reroll this or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is technically what they want. That's why they use the new templating. But they got to be consistent with the templating.
Well, gamer bro, good question. Hopefully you got your answer and then more questions to think about. Thank you, Highs, again. So I just finished painting my Aramon. Wanted to go over to paint my Rubric Marines and Terminators and surrendered immediately. Any suggestions on painting T-Suns and not getting insane and dusty?
I don't know. Do we have an answer for this?
Well, I will say kind of humorously on the stream where I painted some Rubric Marines, boy, that stream still gets a lot of views and a lot of questions in it.
Yeah?
One of the things I will say, I do think that the pens are very good. The Craftwork pens,
Bayoki Craftwork pens.
Bayoki Craftwork pens are pretty good. You do need to after you put them on, if that's not your last step, which it probably wouldn't be, you do need to then seal it because they come off easily with your fingers. I personally don't like the way people paint the gold first and then go in and paint the areas. I'm not sure. People want to say that's a hack. I'm not sure it is. I think it's like kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. One way you're painting something not fun.
I think there's that, and then you're also, this might be fine for your style, you're choosing to basically not be able to do certain things.
Yep.
So blends, honestly, whether it's brush or airbrush, are going to be much harder to do because you have to be careful and not get on the gold.
Yeah, I think I'm also I have a lot of things interrupting it, but I have Thousand Suns I'm working on as well, Highs. And one thing I will say with this army, I found it personally just good to pull out 5 rubrics and say I'm doing this one thing tonight, and maybe that one thing is just the trim, or maybe that one thing is the horns on the helmet or something. It can be unfortunately making it a slow burn. I found to be it was the best.
I mean, any progress is always better than no progress.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if you sit down and you say, oh, I really don't want to do this whole unit,
I think
just
so.
do anything. Just do a little bit, get something done. Maybe tomorrow night you'll feel better and you'll do a little bit more, but you got something done today.
And to that point, I think it can seem the most logical step is to assembly line them, but that can also make it more tedious. And sometimes you just finish a whole batch of 5 all the way, and then do the next one, because otherwise it feels so much more like endless.
I think this is right, and also, and I will just say you will learn what things you want to assembly line.
That's true.
You can assembly line airbrushing, right, and then maybe there are some things you'll be fine doing on 42
I'll
models.
do this a lot, but then finish a squad, and it feels better that way.
Yeah. Thank you, DT Gage. Hi guys, love the show. Been really into painting AOS models lately. I've started both the Seraphon and Osiarch Bone Reapers army. My lizard bases are jungle swamp themed, but I can't decide how to base the boners. Ideas.
Sorry, I zoned out till the end there.
Osiarch Bone Reaper basing.
Okay.
Well, I think it's the instinct for this army. A lot of us like to do it in a desert theme because
sand,
we're connected. We're connecting them to Tomb Kings, but does not have to be that way. I think if you want to match bone, I'm actually having this army assembled and assembling it myself currently to paint up in a month or so.
Phrasing.
I noticed that.
What's that?
That was a strange choice of words.
I'm
Go on,
having
go
assembled,
on.
but also assembling my own army.
Go on, Zach.
Like I said, he hasn't arrived yet, okay?
No, what I meant, the reason I bring that up is because I haven't had eyes on the Mortrek Guard.
Yeah.
Because somebody is assembling those for me, and I'm
Got it.
assembling the bigger things.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, with most of this army, if you actually look at the models, bone is very prevalent. They're not that armored. So you need to match the bone. So, sand can also be problematic in that way.
Blends in.
It's almost like too monochromatic.
That's the thing. You don't want something that's contrast to the bone? It's not bone?
Well,
With the basing?
it's sort of like...
man. I can't picture like
You want them to pop.
Skelemen on like a lava field. Skelemen on anything.
Skeleman.
I just can't. I
Skelemen.
can't see it. They belong on the sand. Let them
It's
walk
so
on
funny
the sand.
you guys both think that. Huh?
Think what?
Sand is like the default, like you should
That's
do
like
sand.
where, yeah.
No. I
okay.
think that's
That's how I
what
feel.
most people's...
But that's what I
Yeah.
mean.
What I said
That's
is I
crazy.
think there are people
I
like
just can't
picture
like
it.
Bridger. Yeah.
I know that like color theory, it's wrong. I just literally can't picture them
me,
in
it's
any
like
environment other than sand.
Desolation. It's like gray,
yeah.
dead stuff.
Which in
The
their background
contrast.
is more where they are from.
Yeah.
It is the better
Yeah,
description.
frankly. It's just interesting to me.
I just can't see it.
Interesting.
It's like a pair of khakis, and then you're like, okay, I've got a pair of khakis on. Do I match and get a shirt that is the exact same khaki color
Yes.
and look like a park ranger?
Notice, I am wearing.
No, black you can do.
Black, you can do that with.
That's the exception.
With khaki, you're going to look like a park ranger, but it is a look. The worst problem is if you have one pair of khaki pants on, and then you get a khaki shirt that's a slightly different color. That's the worst thing you can do. And so you have to be careful with Bone Reapers if you do the sand.
Yeah, you don't want two khaki things.
Yeah, you don't want two khaki things. I'm kind of with Adrian, but I wouldn't do gray. And actually,
Aren't you doing gray for yours?
I don't exactly know what I'm doing because I'm basing the same as Meg is basing her Soul Blight.
Which I thought was gray with red
like
crystals.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm going to do the crystals. But I
You should try sand.
kind of interested in some sand. DT, here's the thing. I always recommend practice. And I think honestly, if you get, I know you don't want to go out and buy every product just to do a test, but see if you have some friends around, or see if you can find some way to make a few test bases and then set a finished model on it and see which one looks best.
You know what's cheap? Sand.
Sand is cheap. After I said what, I realized that's what you were going to say.
What?
Good luck. Post pictures of these guys with whatever you decide in the Discord. We love to see these.
Oh, look, Techno. Oh, thank you, Techno. Techno retrieved somebody's lost message.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good guy.
Okay. Thank you, Techno.
What would we do
and thank
without
you,
Techno?
Roger, for this. Thank you,
Thanks, Roger. Appreciate the support.
No, his question's down below. Just read it.
Rogers.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is
from
Oh,
Roger.
that is Roger. Oh, okay.
That
good
was
eye,
the whole
Roger.
thing that I was.
There we go.
I just thought you were being awkward and saying things out of order.
Same.
No, that's his. That's Rogers.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's see what Roger
Okay,
has to say.
Roger. Thank you for this question. Commander Magic the Gathering YouTube channels get guest stars for new sets. Bridger, are you thinking about trying to guest for the upcoming Warhammer Magic the Gathering cards?
Trying to be a
It's
guest?
just good crossover
Get outta
advertising
here.
for the channel.
Bro, I'm working on a channel. Okay, you underestimate me. I've been
Why you could do both? What, you wanna
I've
be a
been
guest?
underestimated. I would be happy to be on anybody's show for anything. To be honest.
Yeah.
If you want me on a Magic show, I'm in. I'll fly there. I don't care. I'll do it. But
Very cool.
I am working on, for this launch, I'm going to try to get us,
Guess?
I've been talking to Wizards, trying to get us, maybe we could do a preview maybe?
That'd be dope.
Maybe, that would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Trying to get that.
wanna do that.
And maybe get some guests, hopefully. I think we can get Vince for this, for sure.
We can get Vince for this.
I don't know how we would get him
Here?
cards. We can't get him here. We could get him here. Maybe it's not off the table. Maybe we could
Not
have Vince
table.
here. Pleasant Kenobi, a lot of you probably know him because he's a Magic person who got into 40K
Yeah.
recently. He's a big content creator. So he's probably a name you've heard, Pleasant Kenobi.
Yeah.
But yes, if you have a show and you want me on it for Commander, I have a lot of cameras and a setup for Magic.
For
now.
Magic. The cameras are for Magic.
I now have a whole rig to film Magic content, so hit me up.
That's fun. Thank you, Maxwell Martin. Bridger, twisting your arm here.
Yeah.
How do you make a multi-detachment army to have Sisters of Silence troops while including Trajan, Try your hardest to optimize.
All
This
sisters
is.
of silence
I'm just
troops.
being trolled. This whole thing is just me being trolled because I don't like Trajan and I don't like detachments of sisters, and they're just all right. So
Can you even do this?
yes, yes, there are rules for having a detachment entirely of sisters. They like included that as a thing. You can have a detachment of sisters and a detachment of Custodes, and technically that's not legally an army right now, but I'm sure they're going to FAQ it because why else would they have rules for an entire detachment of sisters?
There's a keyword issue.
Right, there's a keyword. The only keyword they share is Imperium because there's a rule that lets sisters be in a Custodes detachment. There's a separate rule that lets you have a detachment fully of sisters.
Yeah.
There's nothing that lets you have two detachments, one of Custodes, one of sisters. But,
funny.
okay. Trajan, Sisters of Silence. All Sisters of Silence troops, that's not possible. Well, I guess you could have Trajan and an Ox. Or you could take an Outrider, you have Trajan and only bikes, only missile bikes, 3x3 missile bikes. Now we're getting spicy.
Spicy.
You're going to ruin somebody's day. I guarantee it. You take one unit of 3 with Hurricane Bolters and 2 units of 3 with missiles. Why the Hurricane Bolters, you ask? Because you have such lack of shooting everywhere else. If your army is like 30 models and 20 of them are sisters. So,
Oh my god. Love it.
all right, so let's get down to business with the sisters attachment. You're going to take a sword. There's only one HQ. Take her with a sword.
Oh, the HQ.
Right. I don't actually remember her name.
Yeah.
And the book's at my house.
Sword
so.
sister.
There's only one HQ for sisters. You take her. One with sword, and you're going to take the relic sword. And you can't take the relic sword and the cloak. This is the problem with sisters. Okay, so you're going to take one with the relic sword, one with the relic cloak. They both really have to do work for you because you only have so many models. And then I think, honestly, like 2x5 the prosecutors. After that, I really don't like Witch Seekers. I think you're going to want Vigilators. There's so few units. Every unit gets a Rhino, though, because you're playing a whole detachment of sisters. So, ton of Rhinos, like four Rhinos, 2 units of Prosecutors. Oh, no, you need 3 units of Prosecutors. No! Everything's ruined. So we need like 5 Rhinos, 2 units of Prosecutors,
He's spiraling.
3 Prosecutors, 2 Vigilators. Final offer, 5 Rhinos.
I love it.
This is such a bad army. We've built an incredibly bad army. I've been trolled.
Yes, you have.
Thank you, Maxwell. And thank you, Cedric. Rip Subfaction Soup. Guess I'm mono Bloody Rose now. But seeing the changes to mission scoring is very interesting. Also, Fortification deployment changes.
That's right.
What changed with Fortification?
Basically just, so if you would not be able to place your fortification in your deployment zone, you can adjust the terrain slightly. But then I think they say, if you have to like do it a second time, then tough luck.
What?
There's
Okay,
something
so you
weird
bring
about that.
one big thing, but you can't bring 2 big things.
Is it if you have to do it a second time? As in, like, if you do it and then, like...
It's not enough.
and if anything happens after
You took your hand off.
Yeah, if your hand...
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
You lose.
So toxic. Oh,
Is there a stipulation that you have to have a certain distance between your terrain piece and the normal terrain?
yeah, that still exists.
Cool. So you
was
can't just
this?
like build a wall,
I read through this. You cannot just build a wall.
which is good.
That's
Deploy
interesting.
armies.
So who does this really affect?
There you go. So it cannot be set up within 3 inches of any other terrain feature.
Right.
That's not part of its own data sheet.
Well, because there's the mega fortress that has like 6 pieces.
Right. Excluding hills. If it's not possible to set up a fortification as a result,
You can put it on a hill.
you can. Oh no, that's what it is.
What?
You just remove a piece of terrain,
Replace. Yeah, this is what Thurgood
which
just
is
said.
intense. And then at that point, if you still can't place it, then you can't place it.
Can you imagine not being able to place it? What are they selling?
Fortress of Redemption.
That's what I was actually thinking. It was like, even a Fortress of Redemption,
Yeah.
I still think you could. But,
The trench line. If you have a bunch of pieces of the trench line, that won't fit in there.
yeah, I guess I don't know how the trench line works.
It's
I gotta
weird.
say, this is one of those like weird edge cases of Warhammer rules where they're never gonna get it right, and you just don't.
It just it probably shouldn't be in competitive play. And
Right.
with your friends, you should probably just make it
Do
work.
whatever you want. Yeah, like we're gonna look at it from like far away and be like, that's weird, and then forget about it for the rest of our lives.
Somewhere there's like just a room at Games Workshop where there's like monkeys in there working on the fortification and flyer rules for like 10 years, I feel like. And then they do look them over, but like...
Zach, you definitely just offended somebody who works at GW.
I apologize.
I guarantee it.
I'm not on it today. I should think of a more polite way to say it. But yeah, it's like at the hedge case you're talking about. They always fortification and flyer rules always seem to be just like a little wonky.
Yeah.
And when they're cool, then they're almost like too good.
Yeah.
Almost like they shouldn't be in the game. Oh, I said it.
Oh, dang.
Oh, fortifications and flyers shouldn't be in 40K. Get them out.
It's hard to remove.
I think that's more offensive. In my scenario, at least monkeys are getting work.
Oh, jeez. We're being added a bunch. Is that...
They're specifying what we said.
Oh, okay.
They caught up. They knew and we didn't know, but now we know too.
Now we know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is a great one here. Big list, big sisters list.
Okay.
We'll see how I do.
Let's
you guys
see.
know I'm not always great at Imperial Army.
I'm not gonna help you, Zach.
All right. Thank you, Drew. First time live. Awesome.
Woo!
Awesome to have you, Drew.
What's up, Drew?
Okay. Sisters of Battle list. VH. That is Valorous Heart.
Excellent.
Right? Morgan Val. Canonist with BE. These are just relics I don't know. BEIP BOSMS.
Yep.
You don't know.
Adrian also doesn't
Okay.
know.
That's too
Two
much for me.
10-man sisters with sim and weapons.
I said I wouldn't help you.
Simulacra and weapons.
Sorry.
10
I should've given you a
novitiates
chance.
with melee and banner.
10 what?
What are they called? Novitiates?
Yep.
He said it.
Excellent. No, I just didn't hear.
By the way, the rules for those come in the White Dwarf that also comes with the Soul Blight rules and the Crusher Stampede. Best White Dwarf of all time. Amazing.
Putting all these rules
The yellow
in
one.
It's so good. It has all the rules. Anyways, carry on.
Yeah. Four what are they called? Sacristans?
You skipped
3 Arco.
And then
Flagellants.
5 sacristans.
5 sacristans.
I'm worried you just said 4.
That's so weird. There's not even a 4 here. A dog.
It just says a dog.
What do you think that is, Zach?
Dogmata.
Dogmata.
Oh, you helped him again.
No, I
it's
knew
all
what
right.
that was. This one I don't know. Para? This is the war suit.
Yeah.
War suit
Para.
with
Paradise.
SW and M.
No?
Yeah, what does that stand for?
I don't know.
Space Wolves.
Probably not. Just like one of them's holding a space wolf as like a weapon.
Yeah.
A sword.
And? Traditionally would be MM.
Oh, multi-melta.
There you go.
Okay. 4 Repentia with this sup. I don't know what this is.
Superior.
What's up? I don't know. What's up, dog, with you?
5 Sir.
Oh, you got this, Zach.
I don't know this
I
one.
believe.
What if I said
I
it
got
was
you.
Seraphon?
Oh, Seraphon. Okay.
Well, Seraphim.
Close
but
enough.
yeah.
Seraphon.
Close enough.
Seraphon.
That's an Age of
Lizard
Sigmar
man.
fan.
Oh,
Just a little lizard
He's
man.
a Sigmar player, guys. Be nice.
Just a few lizard men in there. Okay. The Exorcist with missile.
Oh, he's nailing it.
Pen is Repentia engine.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Close enough. Yeah.
Emulator with Melta
Yeah.
and Rhino.
Zach,
You did it.
that was like a solid 95.
Thank you. Yeah. Now
was
I will
amazing.
say actually that I don't. A lot of times like these are weird.
Para.
Well, because it's not
Paradise.
standard. Wait, don't scroll away, because
Because
we have to actually read the list.
took none of that.
Now, what Drew's actually looking for is this is their list, and they like this list. 200 more points. How
All
do you
right.
spend it?
You have 0 Retributors. That's my immediate, like, I've recognized, guys, we're in a meta of large things with many wounds with -1 damage, and you have a bunch of 1 and 2 damage. Y'all need some Retributors up in here with multi-meltas. Man, you remember that list Vince had in Gibraltar?
Gonna come back.
And I was like, dude, that's too many multi-meltas.
It's not
like,
anymore.
there's a line, and you crossed it about a mile ago.
Yeah.
You have way too many multi-meltas. But now, I'm looking at that list, and I'm like, I'd run that.
I think in the era of all this -1 damage and Crusher Stampede and stuff, like, if I was a Sisters player,
All the multi-meltas.
I'd feel real good,
As many as you can.
honestly. I agree. Retributors.
There's 0 Retributors in this list. Like, the list is good. It does all the things. It has Seraphim to get Obsec from the Dogmata and go steal an objective. I might want more than 1 unit with flying. Maybe you get some Zephyrim in there. but really you're lacking a big, durable. You need an anvil. I think you're missing a large Sacrosanct squad. You don't need 3, but I think 1 is usually good to have. And then you're missing more multi-meltas. How is this? Isn't 1,800 points? There's no way. I guess maybe exorcists
It's a lot of
are
stuff,
really
man.
expensive.
No, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, but Sisters List always have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I really like the way that it's so not spammy.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna be a lot of data sheets to keep track of, but they probably know what they're doing, right? And it's cool to see. Like it's I think a sign of a good codex almost.
Yeah.
The Sisters Codex is amazing. It's super well made.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need Retributor. Get them in there with multi-meltas.
Tony, if you can message Bridger in Discord, that'd be fantastic.
Who's Tony?
Tony says he's having trouble super chatting, but friends with the art director for Magic the Gathering, grew up together. Do you need help with getting in touch with Wizards, Bridger?
So I have been in touch with somebody at Wizards. I haven't talked to them in a while, but if you, hit me up. I'm on Discord. You can always find me, and I have a message under my name that says I'm really far behind on DMs. But I'll be looking out for you, Tony.
Also, thank you, Meg.
Yeah, thank you, Meg. Meg just super chat. I'll read it real quick.
What's up, Meg?
Wants to know if Bridger would like to connect with Withers.
How are there so many people in our chat
Wizards.
who are connected to Wizards?
What? No, it's the same person.
Oh.
So Meg, and also before
Meg
that,
super chatted too.
Soups also was tagging us.
Oh,
I want to make sure that you know
All right, thanks everybody.
that you saw Tony's message.
Yeah, thanks. What's up, Tony? I would love to talk with you and anybody at Wizards.
Yeah.
And anybody who just makes Magic content. I just like Magic. If you just want to talk to me about
Just
Magic,
likes talking.
talk about Magic.
He does like talking.
I do like talking.
He does like talking Magic. Okay, thank you. Tea Time with Toby. Oh, again.
Heyo.
Nice to hear from you again. I'd love to order your dice, but the customs and shipping from the U.S. is brutal. Do you have any plans for an EU distribution?
We don't sell dice.
Yeah, I know we're joking a lot today, but we actually don't sell them yet. We
Don't sell dice.
We will at some point, but first things first.
I'm the realist.
Right. Now, look, I will say we obviously are building a relationship with an awesome manufacturer, and this is going to make it easier. And we're learning a lot about distribution and all these things. So
Global distribution.
this is probably going to be the platform that's going to let us be able to do the dice to everyone in the world.
Now, I do have to say, shipping is going to be a lot for everyone. It's not shipping from the U.S., but shipping just generally is a lot for products that are manufactured internationally, which all of these will, because U.S. manufacturers don't. Believe me, I tried. I talked to like every dice manufacturer in the U.S.
Yeah.
None of them will make me 30,000 dice, custom dice. They won't do it.
Yeah,
it's in that weird amount where it's like not a million.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a big enough customer for them to be like, well, we'll just make a new machine for that.
Yeah.
And I'm not a small enough customer for them to do it like kind of as a one-off.
Yeah.
So when I'm like, I need 30,000 dice, they're like, no. But China is like, we got you, fam.
Yeah.
So shipping's going to be a lot, pretty much no matter what, because it's an international production.
Thank you, Tea Time with Toby, and thank you, Mike.
What up?
My faction hot take is that Soup and allies have never been good for the game because it makes balance impossible.
I agree.
Were the points changes kind to Space Marines?
Totally agree, Mike. I think while this can hurt some of our lists, it's good for the game. It's one of those things that I think we're all happy to even take the hit because it's just good for the game.
There's some armies where I kind of miss allies. I think they've gone really hard on monofaction lately.
Yeah.
But like Knights in particular really took a hit.
Yeah.
And even Custodes sometimes. Like I think Custodes are cool as a soup in because
it's kind of their thing.
Realistically, they shouldn't be alone in every fight. Like if Custodes are there, Guard has been there for years, and Space Marines were there for a couple months, and neither of those worked, so we're called in the Custodes. Yeah. So like there are times where I think allies are appropriate, but it's better for the game.
Agreed. As far as points changes for Space Marines, as I recall, there weren't really many at all. So, I don't know. That's up to you. But they didn't really change.
Space Marines had a lot of almost irrelevant changes. Yeah. Where, like, if you look at the infographic on the community site, they showed an infographic for Space Marines, and it's like certain land speeders went down 15 points. The bike chaplain went up, and I think that was an appropriate.
Bike chaplain went up. Land speeders went down a bit.
Yeah.
Gladiators Some of the gladiators went down. I don't know if all of them did.
But I think like Land Raiders are the same or something. Like
Land Raiders didn't change. Yeah.
Things where it's like, you know, Tech Marines probably could have gone down. Vanguard Vets probably could have gone up. Maybe Vanguard Vets did go up, but like, I don't know. The points changes on Space Marines weren't. I don't think they were super impactful.
Yeah, that's also my.
How much Blade Guard? What are Blade Guard now?
You think Blade Guard changed?
I hope they went up.
No, of course not.
I hate Blade Guard.
Blade Guard's so good. I don't know how they keep getting away with it. I was gonna look at Redemptor too, 185. So I think that's the same.
Contemptor was the only dread that went up, right?
The non-forge. This is not Forge World points, is it?
Forge World's in the back. You have to they split the book in half.
Did Volkites go up?
Yes, all Volkites went up.
Yes, they even teased that, I think.
Yeah.
They're like, aha! Relic Contemptor. Yeah, Volkites 15. So up, what, 10 per gun?
Yeah.
That's good.
Ooh.
Nice. So 20 for
Which is appropriate. It was the best gun and it was the cheapest gun.
for sure.
It made no sense.
Now you can take their heavy flamers instead. It was the same cost as a heavy flamer, Zach. Holy crap.
Yeah. I mean,
that should be free.
So, sometimes I do think that they really value auto
hit.
hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of
stupid for Space Marines because it's like you almost always auto hit anyway.
Thank you, Liberty Fires. Zach, hope you're doing well. Question: do you have any ideas on how to make 3 bike chaplains different for a Black Templar army? I'm thinking of using gold for one, silver for another, and red for the other on their trim.
That's gonna be tough.
And of course, I mean, this is a good Adrian question too. My initial thought, I actually, for whatever reason, I don't love I don't love like doing a color change personally for an army like Space Marines or Tau or Suriani. So I wouldn't necessarily do that, but I do think you could maybe do it with just gold and silver. If you take 3 bike chaplains, is one of them going to be like the Warlord, or is one of them going to be like have an extra cool artifact or something?
Probably, yeah.
So that one maybe you could do gold, like one of them is better or pricier. Or
Right.
You could say this is the special, you know, in your head cannon. Or
One of them is
whatever.
probably a double Warlord, so he should be the fancy guy.
Yeah,
The bling chap.
Yeah, but if I'm honest, I think what I would probably do, my instinct with Space Marines, is that I would look for cool. They're all Primaris, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say look for cool helmet swaps, but there just aren't like.
You could do that.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking like Legion of the Damned or stuff, something like that. Like
Oh,
a
those heads
skull
are gonna be
head,
tiny.
but they're gonna be too small. I would look on Etsy for like some cool Primaris heads. My instinct is a helmet. Is a helmet change.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think modeling is good.
I would do it model. If you could, I'd model it. I wouldn't paint it. Sorry, Bridger. There are painting things I would do, like maybe the shoulder pad different.
I would want more, as an opponent against an army that has 3 bike chaplains that do 3 very different things, I would want more than just a different head. Like, I would want, modeling, sure, but like, I would do more. Maybe you can put a banner on the back.
Banners would be cool
Like,
too, yeah.
Just a head swap wouldn't be enough for me to glance around and be like, I know what model that is and I know what it does. There should be an easy way to differentiate. When I had 2 bike captains as Custodes, I would have one with spear up and one with spear forward. And it was like, you always knew which one was which. Because there's a dude who's just raising his hand like as high as he can. He's like, me, I'm the good one. And then there's a normal guy. So I would try to make it really obvious which is which, because it's frustrating to play against when you don't know what they do.
Fair.
Yeah,
Make it clear.
But I do think a head swap is good. I do like the banners idea. And even these are like on the Outrider bikes, yeah?
The bikes are huge, yeah.
Yeah, the bikes are huge, and I think you can do some cool stuff with decals.
You could have
Or
one
even
doing like a cool
stencils.
trick, like he's doing a wheelie.
Yeah. It's interesting, like how all your stuff. This isn't even
It's
a
a dig.
sarcastic
It's a dig. It's
not-
coming.
but it's
I feel
interesting. No, to Bridger's point though, mixing all these things together, I just think it's interesting. All of yours are like just how you pose them, because I would actually, I could actually like, I trust everyone I play. I mostly trust.
Right?
But that is like where you can, if you're like not trusting people at a tournament or something, that's where like you have to be like, wait, the one with the spear up did what? Which one was that? Like, you know what I mean? The one, and now he's in combat with me. Now he's the one that had that? Okay, I thought that guy had it. Whereas if it's like the guy with the skull head, I'm going to remember that. You know what I mean? The guy with the skull head.
Oh,
has this-
weird. Because for me, it's just like the size of the thing. Like, small changes, I literally won't notice. Whereas if it's a big thing,
such as the size difference between a dog and a hippopotamus. We knew that this was
subtlety goes right over my head, Zach.
the subtle size comparison between, say, a chihuahua and a hippopotamus.
All right. There's nothing in between. It is a subtle difference.
Thank you, Laverius. We don't usually read the $2 super chats, but thank you so much. And we did talk a little bit about the $40 pricing on the book in the previous stream.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Dungeon Master. So I'm sitting here on the southern tip of Africa watching Bridger's luck sail on past on its way to Antarctica. Plans ruined by the dice. Nice of you to share my pain.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. That was very comedic timing of your super chat in the game.
That was amazing. That was so good.
Although, to be fair, there were a lot of points in this game where we could have read that super chat and it would have hurt just as much.
Yeah, that's true. We appreciate it. Thank you, Dungeon Master.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Trey. Any advice on finding where to make cuts from a bad army? Hard to stay positive waiting for a codex when the currently weak 8th edition codex gets nerfed. Any thoughts on...
I'm curious which book they're referring.
This probably CS. No, CS...
Craftworld?
Maybe
I
Craftworld?
feel like this would be
Craftworld
Craftworld.
though.
This would be Tau, Craftworld, or CSM, right?
But I feel like all their points... Did Tau even get points changes in this book?
I was actually going to ask that.
Why would they get points changes?
I wouldn't expect any from here. Like the Custodes ones, I understand, again, for the reasons I mentioned earlier, because they're supposed to be more of a gap, but COVID happened.
Right.
But the Eldar one, I don't know.
You know what? A year ago, we were in this situation where we were getting points changes for a book that hadn't come out yet.
Yeah, so Drukhari.
Right. Drukhari had like nerfs until their book came out because the points went up on stuff that got better.
Yeah.
And Tau might have gotten that, and that might be why you're upset.
If it's Tower Craftworld, that's why.
This happened to this happened to Stormcast kind of too, right? But not the book had come out, but the models hadn't come out.
Dragons, that's what it was. Yeah. That's fine. For CSM?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, the real question is how do you make cuts to a list?
To a bad army is what they're saying. If your army is weak, how
guard.
do you make cuts? Guard.
Yeah.
They got points increases?
Okay, Trey.
Why would guard get points increases?
Are you going to be able to look at it and tell?
Some stuff. I'll get like a general feel. You know me, I just make up stats for stuff, so.
I do. But you're...
I'm like kind of close.
Today wasn't your best day for it.
Today was rough, because a lot of reasons. Today was rough. But I'm usually pretty close.
It's an abstract question, right? So it's difficult. I think one thing you want to look at is what tools you have to get the job done.
Tank commanders went up.
Tank commanders went up? Tank commanders went up?
Yeah, they're 175 base now.
Oh, gosh.
That's a lot.
Anyways, so how much are you paying for something, and what are they going to give to you? So, for example, guard squads actually quite efficient.
That's with no turret.
Manticores as well.
So many points.
These things are really hard to replace.
We keep interrupting you.
No, it's okay. It gives me more information because that is a tough thing, honestly, right? Because it's like normally, okay, you cut. I don't know. Do you really need all these squads of scions when some of them could be regular guardsmen or they're cheaper for more bodies, right? So you can make cuts like that. The tough thing with commanders and manticores is like, what are you going to replace them with?
Fundamentally, I think I'm noticing a pattern on the points changes in that, for the most part, they're increasing points on things that people play a lot, and they're decreasing points on things that people don't play.
Yeah.
But they're not doing it across the board. Like Plague Marines, nobody plays Plague Marines. They didn't go down. Yeah. It's just like what was a nail that was sticking up that they noticed to hammer down, and it's irrespective of how well the faction was doing. Like Guard wasn't amazing, but its most played stuff went up in points.
You says the commander did not go up.
They're 175 now? That's way too many points.
That was after at least the spawns.
Manticore went up, and base of Russ, non-tank commander Russes went down 10.
I just really don't like regular Russes.
Yeah, we talked about this.
175 with no turret is way too many points for a tank commander.
Yeah.
That's not right. I don't care if that was their points before. That's too many points.
Yeah, so that was in column A, where this is an old book that needs help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think like this is really going to be, Trey, you're in here. This is going to be really unnice advice to hear, but I will say this. I think what happens when an army overall needs its update and is in a point where it's not getting its update, and we've seen GW's teased nothing about Guard, so we have no idea when that's happening, right? I think you have to make your peace with
It's a bummer.
taking the best things that are in the codex sometimes, because you get to a point where it just feels like with the Tau and the Asuryani, like playing them early on in 8th against Space Marines, I was just like, oh my god, we're just playing a different game.
Right.
So I have to take as many Shining Spears as I can, and I have to take, you have to take those good things.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, but I want to be able to take whatever I want and have fun. It's like, you're not going to have fun because you're not going to get to use them, quite frankly.
Right. Yeah. They'll never get to shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But I wish there was something we could say otherwise.
Yeah.
There's really no workaround outside of like doing homebrew points, which I strongly advise against.
Yeah, and Trey's pointing out that that's also before you have the mandatory heavy bolter. So it's actually 190 before you add the turret.
Yeah, it's like with no sponsons, with no turret, with no hull weapon, it's 175 points.
They're like, well, you got an extra save. What are you complaining about?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's way too many points.
We feel your pain, Trey.
Thank you, Alec. Hey, Titans, how do you guys feel about adding a Calexis to Custodes list with -2 to cast, only be hit on 6, and a 4-up invuln for 100 points? Feels like it brings a lot to the table for relatively little. Thoughts?
I'm not huge on it. 100 points is now 20 points less than a Blade Wizard. He was 110 in the Codex. He's 120 now. He went up in points. And she is way worse than a Blade Wizard.
But you think they're comparable as far as like roles?
No, I just mean in terms of because Custodes are so elite right now that you are always like starving to get more stuff in your list.
Gotcha.
The cuts, you're already making cuts before you're done making the list.
Yeah.
I don't think you can find 100 points to put a Calexis in. And she, less than ever, covers the weaknesses of the army. A bunch of people are taking Emperor's Chosen for the 4-up feeling the pain against mortals. You always have Sisters in the list now for their minus to cast. I don't think a Calexis really serves, of all the assassins, I don't think Calexis serves a whole lot of purpose in Custodes anymore. Because Sisters are so ubiquitous and good, and we're not really that threatened by mortals when you're playing Emperor's Chosen. And, like, I'm not cutting a Blade Wizard to put a Calexis in, and I'm not cutting 2 Custodian Guard. That's almost a whole squad.
Right, right.
Like, what do I cut to put a Calexis in? 3 squads of Judiciaries?
Yeah.
Not Judiciaries.
Prosecutors.
Jeez, it's all the stupid Stormcast words.
Yeah.
I'm not cutting any number of Prosecutors or Custodian Guard or any of my characters to put a Calexis in. What do you cut? A whole bike? No, I'm not into it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Thank you, Siege Roots. Bridger needs the emotional support tyrant today.
Yes.
We have an emotional support there?
We do. This came from Thursday. The Thursday game. That's all I'll say about that.
You had to take like a hive tyrant.
Emotional support tyrant.
My prediction, Knights might actually beat Crusher, but lose to everything else at LVO. What do you think of this prediction?
Totally agree. Totally agree.
That's fair.
That's a great way of putting it. And we were talking about this earlier even. It's like there's a lot of rock, paper, scissors going around right now, unfortunately. And I was like, Crusher Stampede is nuts. There are things that beat it, but the problem is those things I don't think have a ton of play in the rest of the field. So,
LVO, irrespective of who's taking what.
Yeah.
Give us each an army that's going to pull out the surprise win.
Custodes.
Custodes.
See, a week ago I said there's no way Custodes make top 8, and then I learned Art of War. 2 people from Art of War bring Custodes, and they're bringing the same list.
Yeah.
And the last time Art of War went to LVO and they all had the same list, it dominated, and everybody else was miserable.
Yeah.
I did say irrespective of who's playing, but we'll keep that. There's also a lot of Custodes at LVO.
There's a lot. There's 42 Custodes players.
Okay, so you say Custodes. Who you say? Who pulls that? What faction?
I can't say Custodes.
Okay.
Like a surprise faction?
Yeah, like, wow, didn't see that happen. And like not so stupid like 8th Ed Tau, like the current Tau book, like nothing like that, right?
Jesus Cult, if they do well, would be a surprise. Because it's so new, so
I'm torn between Jesus Cult or Black Templar, personally.
Ooh, okay.
I think if you've really been studying the meta, you know that Black Templars actually are quite interesting right now, but I think a lot of people will be surprised by it. So I'll say Black Templar.
Black Templar.
I'm going to have egg on my face, because a week ago I said, I was like, there's no way Custodes top 8.
There's all these memes about you going back and forth on Custodes.
I was like, there's no way they top 8. The faction's like, it's fun, but it's not competitive. And then Art of War's like, nah, dude. hold my beer, and they're just gonna take it all away, and I'm gonna be like,
I'm so curious. Like, I'm so curious.
we'll see.
It's gonna be wild. Okay, thank you, William. Hey, Titans. Started very slowly building a Custodes army a while back.
Yes.
Bridger, what are your thoughts on the Spear Venatari now that
Oh, I like-
pistols can't double shoot?
Oh, yeah.
Plus, swords, SW fallback, shoot and charge. What is SW, Bridger?
Solar Watch.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually, I, in my LVO list, have a squad of 5 Venatari. And I have 3, it's a squad of 5. It's 3 spears, or lances, I guess, technically what they're called, and 2 guys with pistols for a 2-up save that goes to a 1-up in cover, whether it's from the banner or in a building. I like the lances with fallback and charge. The gun is basically the same as the pistol. It doesn't have exploding 6s, and it's 12-inch range instead of 18-inch range. But, like, it's a good profile. Strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage is like a great profile outside of this meta of tough 7 and 8 monsters that are -1 damage. But like generally, I think it's a good profile. Fallback, shoot, and charge for 1 CP because you fall back and charge for free. 1 CP to fall back and shoot. This unit's a menace. It's so fast, moves 12 inches, super durable because it's Custodes, and we have all the strats for it now. I'm into it. Lance Venatari, I think they're good. Unfortunately, I think at LVO they're not going to have karate. Because it's not, obviously they didn't put the kata on the data sheet when the codex wasn't out yet. And there's no FAQ yet that says they have kata, so I don't know if they'll have karate at LVO.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hytorian.
That's a cool name.
This is a very familiar battle for me and my salamanders versus Necrons. Are the unkillable murder bots just good against all elite armies? How do they fare against Custodes and Grey Knights?
Unkillable murder. Oh, Necrons.
Necrons.
Yeah, so they do well against slow semi-elite armies, right? You can see in this game, I was able to frankly choose all the engagements. Bridger had to reach to make the engagements, and then if and when that failed, then you'd have to reach farther, and I was able to sort of punch back with everything. Because this army is not very super long range either, but it is longer than you. It does have the reach. So, yeah, funny enough.
I think Custodes could trounce Necrons.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't know whether these 2 other ones actually fall into that category. I'm not quite sure about.
Grey Knights are a weird one, because if you just nuke a couple of their Dread Knights, they could lose the game very quickly.
I don't know how I'd nuke them though. In this, well, okay,
With
yeah.
this list?
With the Silent King and then the Destroyers, the Shooty Destroyers.
Yeah, I think you could pick them up.
You could.
But
they are more maneuverable than
the Custodes, sure.
Death Guard.
Oh, they're also yeah. But I think Custodes Necrons. I think is a matchup that changed a lot in the past month.
That'd be a cool one to do.
It could be cool or it could be a blowout.
For the Custodes?
Yeah, because if you have 0-up armor, they don't care about any of the AP2. Warriors will do nothing the entire game. They're just a cool thing to charge and tag.
Yeah.
And Custodes are perfect. Their defensive strats are perfect for the kind of stuff that Necrons are bringing. Necrons will have like 2 or 3 hammers, and we have a strat that shuts down each of those hammers every time, consistently. We're just like, I have an answer to that, and it's 1 or 2 command points, and then I kill you. Anything you charge me with, it's dead now.
Great point.
I don't know. I feel like Custodes are almost invincible against most of Necrons.
That is concerning.
Catan could be good against Custodes because we lack many phases of damage, but I don't know.
Thank you, Siege Roots. Are Eliminators a good way to fill up some points when I've maxed out my elite slots as Space Marines? Is the Genestealer Cult Curse transmissible, Adrian?
Did Eliminators go down?
Was that
If Eliminators are significantly cheaper, maybe.
also on those heavy support slots?
That's what I think
Right, their
they're
elites are
saying
full.
is elites are full because of all the good options in elites.
Oh.
So what should they
Yeah,
do?
I think Eliminators have a place, honestly. They forward deploy. They can move, shoot, move.
25 points.
So 75, I think it's the same, basically.
Yeah, that is.
But they have a place.
Definitely the same.
Remember Mikey had a unit at Gibraltar. He had a unit of infiltrators and a unit of eliminators. And they can be compelling. They're
were
not super killy.
Annoying.
They're a utility unit. I wouldn't take them to kill anymore, ironically.
You take them with a carbine on the on the sergeant so that you get to shoot and move when they charge you. It's just annoying. That's all it is.
Well, it's useful too. When we say annoying,
But like the secondaries that it was doing before, like it could rod, but it can't really rod anymore, not reliably.
yeah, that's fair.
And it can't.
You can
Oh,
behind
it is.
enemy lines.
It is 3 models.
Yeah.
So you could behind enemy lines
Or engage.
or engage. But if you lose one of them, it doesn't do that anymore.
But they've always been kind of like that. It's an early game screen for frankly less than a unit of infiltrators.
But now there's missions where you can't be up the table.
Oh
No, getting turned down.
I think it's fine.
I don't know. They're okay. I wouldn't. If you have spare points, that's not where I would put them. But if you like them, go for them.
Thank you, Matthew A. Evening Titans, Nundums, and Battle Sanctum back in the lists. What a time to be alive. What new missions and secondaries are looking good for your favorite factions?
Man, I'm so excited for the Gene Still Cult in the new book. Oh my goodness. Deploy home beacons, homing beacons. Deploy teleport homers. Did it.
Go home, beacons.
Go home beacons. Take that. Retrieve knockwind data. You can basically do both of these at the same time with GSC like for free. So it's like maximum. It's like 15 or 30 points right there.
And they're really good at a lot of the bonus primary stuff.
They're so good at all the bonus primary
This
stuff.
is the wrong book.
I'm really into them. So that is the faction that I'm most excited for in these new missions. What about you guys? How's your stuff looking? And
I think Custodes didn't really get a whole lot better at doing most secondaries, but they are more capable of doing some of the bonus primary stuff than I perhaps expected them to be. There's a lot of actions in there, and now we can use the karate that's like do actions and other stuff at the same time.
yeah,
Bikes can do stuff now, right?
bikes can do
Some things.
Yeah, they can
Some
retrieve
things.
knockwind data.
Yeah.
So it's a give and take. It's like yes, they can do it now, but they're probably not troops, so they actually kind of suck at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
Unless you take a big unit like 9 warp bikers.
Or your
You know,
death watch.
the issue for me right now with 40K, I'm very excited, but it's still something that's a little on the horizon for me because my 2 favorite factions are right around the corner.
Yeah,
right?
That's fair.
And we know it, and GW's been teasing it, so I'm kind of like,
You're holding your breath.
am I going to be playing a lot of 8th Ed Craft World in the next couple month and a half, 2 months, or am I going to play Sigmar, right? You know,
Yeah.
probably. So that said, Bikes doing actions bodes well. I have an insane amount of Wind Riders. I think if there is one unit you're going to do that with,
Wind runners?
Wind Runners. No, they're Wind Riders.
That's so close. Why are you offended about that?
Yeah.
He's like, you mean runners?
Because it's a meme on the channel, the Windrunner clip.
Yeah.
Can't remember. All
I
the memes.
think that if there's a unit that did Craft World get points changes?
Yeah.
They did. I haven't looked at them yet. I'm kind of
What's
curious.
the points increases?
Don't.
This is one where I could guess if it was
It's
an
like
increase or
bad, right?
decrease,
They like-
and I would be wrong.
It sounded like, I think honestly it was from chat or something earlier. It sounded like they did get
A
increases.
sermon's 160 points. That seems like a lot for a sermon.
Again, this is probably in anticipation of the book coming out in the next couple months or 3 months.
Oh, you think this is for?
That's what we were saying before. This happened with Drukari.
Oh, okay.
And that was, the same thing. It was just a couple months
Are there any
before.
new units in here?
So, I don't know. It's a
I
thought.
don't see any new units in here.
Okay.
Well then that makes me doubt it then actually. Because we know that there's the new the Ranger bikes.
Yeah.
What are they called? Something runners?
Wind Riders? No. That's the only. There's nothing.
Shroud, something with Shroud.
There's nothing in
Yeah,
here.
it's Shroud runners. So if they don't have the new units, I don't know. It's hard.
Well, yeah.
it's just guessing at this point.
I do think that bikes, outside of Shining Spears, might be good candidates for some of this stuff.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
We'll see, especially if they didn't go up. Which how much are
Shining Spears are 35. Wind Riders are 20 and plus 10 for a cannon or a scatter laser.
That's what they are now.
How much for a scatter laser?
10.
10.
Oh. So 30 points, min?
Yeah.
Or you can take them for 20 with just a shuriken.
Right.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't, because what do they do?
That's I don't. Yeah. It's hard to talk about this army because you're like, who are they playing against now? Like I played against Guard. Poor who were we talking to Guard about?
Trey.
Trey.
Poor Trey. Yeah, Trey. You and I could get a good game in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fair.
So okay, I just thank you, Gloop. With tensions rising in the Ukraine, How do you think this impacts the role of Trajan Valors?
You want this?
What do you think,
I
Bridger?
mean,
This seems like it's at you.
I don't. Trajan's not born yet. What? I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to
I
this.
don't know how you're supposed to either.
I will refrain from making any political statements.
I think it's more a statement on
Trajan.
you have to comment about Trajan.
Yeah.
Could he settle this dispute?
No, just Trajan.
I think he could, but it wouldn't. Nobody would be happy with his
Yeah.
solution.
Yeah, that's true.
He would
Yeah.
That's usually a good
enslave all of
solution.
mankind
Oh,
under the God Emperor.
There we go.
So you probably wouldn't be happy with how he settled that dispute.
Thank you for your support,
thank
Gloop.
you, Gloop. Yeah.
I don't know what you were expecting me to say. to
Gloop,
that.
we wish we could give you a better answer, but we can't. We just
I
don't
don't know what to say to
enough.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter. Hi. Thoughts on this Ultramarine list? Grav Captain, Primaris Librarian Chief, Primarius. Why am I saying that? Primaris Chaplain, 2 groups of 5 intercessors, 1 group of 10 intercessors,
Okay.
2 plasma redemptors, 2 groups of 5 blade guards, and a P-apoth?
Primaris Apothecary.
Primarius.
Primarius Apothecary, and 2 times 3 Eradicators?
Is it Ultramarines?
Question mark.
This is a dope list.
It seems really fun.
This is like a really good competitive list.
Is a Grav Captain roughly the same points as the stupid chapter master guy?
No way. Calgar?
Calgar, yeah.
No.
Take a look.
Not even close.
It's in a book.
Because it's not Chapter Master Grav Captain.
Rainbow. 115? No, he's gonna be a lot more than 150.
He's gonna be
I think
a
he's
lot
like
more.
160. That's my guess. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, like I said, if he had Chapter Master, sure.
Well,
210 for Calgar? Woof. It's a great list. Don't change it.
I like it a lot.
I was gonna put Calgar in it, but I regret that.
I can't tell if I want you to have one unit of 6 Eradicators or a 1 unit of 5.
No, you don't want 1x6.
Okay, well, do you want 1 by 5 or do you want 2 by 3?
2x3. They're trading tools.
Okay.
Like every time you use them, they die.
Yeah.
Every time.
why? What do you guys think about the 1 group of 10 intercessors?
I am very pro this with Ultramarines because they have lots of amazing strats to
Signs
put
of Gilliman. Yeah.
Sounds of Gilliman for rerolls. You can put them tactical for the extra AP, and also shooting at full bolt range, long distance.
Yeah.
There's one more. Double shoot, just generally.
They're just good strats for large units.
Normally we wouldn't,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
for Ultramarines, I
Ultramarines.
like it.
That's fun. Thank you, Chris. Britton, hi, Titans. Love the channel. Keep up the great work.
What's up?
And can't wait for Titans Terrain.
Woo!
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. And he says, what can I do as a Necrons player, currently Novak, in 1,000 points to not get destroyed by Slanesh demons, particularly Keeper of Secrets? Well, look, I will literally just kind of chatting about this. I just was the Keeper of Secrets, Slanesh, against the guard list this Thursday with a Suryani.
Can't get that image out of my head.
Right. Where if you were, especially Chris, playing on a smaller board, really fast, crazy armies like this,
We'll just run you over.
and you're a little more shooty, you're just like tagged, right? You're just tagged immediately.
That's rough.
Yeah.
But the discussion of like, you go to play this guy again, and you're like, what if we played on the full size?
Play on a
table?
full size board. If you're
Your
not.
opponent's gonna be like, no. No, you'll just shoot me. I don't want that.
Otherwise, it's like cross your fingers and hope you roll a bunch of 6s on an Overwatch.
You gotta
Strat.
try to screen them out and don't take big units because whatever they touch is gonna die. So reduce their efficiency.
I think Scorpek's the way to go. You'll get them winning on 4s.
Scorpek's good for sure.
They're not strength 10. Get them out of here.
But
They'll
the
win you on
big problem
4s.
also, though, like, is the 1,000 points, right? Often makes like
Oh yeah.
you want like a couple things that do damage, and then you're like, oh, that's half my. I'm at 500 points now. Like,
Dude, Scorpekh are only 30 points a model. So 6 Scorpekh is 180. You can take 18 No, rule of 2. You can take 12 Scorpekh, and it's not even half your army.
Is that what you would do? And then a bunch of warriors.
You
and
would dunk on this guy.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If you gave the front squad a 5-up invuln, you just build a wall of Scorpekh. It's a dumbbell. You have 2, and then, right? So you have, you make a dumbbell. Sorry,
It's a gym thing. He's really into it right
No, it's just the shape. It's like
Hey guys, have I mentioned I go to the gym?
I would have called it that a year ago, and I'm pretty sure I did. There's triangles on the end.
Didn't know what a dumbbell was a year ago.
Okay, so you have one front squad of Scorpekh, one behind. You give the 5 of them on the one in front. You wait for them to charge you. They do, because they're a Slanesh player. Of course they're going to charge you. And then you just kill them, and you win the game, and you go drink.
What about the Keeper of Secrets? You nervous about, well, what's the special plan?
What?
For the keeper, it's
That
going
was
to
the
charge
plan.
you, and you're going to kill
That was
it.
the plan.
That's the plan just
That's
for
the
Keeper?
plan.
Okay,
It's going to charge you.
Okay.
It's
You-
not a Demon Kieran. I can't charge. It can't be go over models.
You do Whirling Dervish. It kills like 2 Scorpekh. Maybe 1 comes back. Or if it kills 3, 1 will come back.
It'll kill more than 2.
So if it kills 3, 1 comes back.
Yeah.
Put a Resorb. Really mess with them.
Oh yeah, definitely take a Resorb.
12 Scorpekh will dunk on a keeper.
I'm into it. Now, Peter did comment, yes, with everything we said with the big squad of intercessors, but also there is Chapter Master on the captain. He just ran out of characters.
So the captain's actually like, what did I say, 160? He's like 190?
So
Does
he's
he pay 30 for Chapter Master?
he's like, no, it's 40 for Chapter Master.
So he's like 200.
No, you said he was 115.
No way. Gravis
150
Captain's 115?
Plus 40 is 155.
Oh, right. I said Calgar's probably 150.
Yeah. So I still like the
No,
generic one.
no Calgar.
No
We're good.
Calgar.
We're good. We're good. He's good. We're fine.
Thank you, Nicholas. After the points change, the Silent King is too good to pass up, so I'm getting him instead of the Void Dragon. Happy
Okay.
to see Mephret on the table. It's my favorite for looks and lore-wise.
It's a classic, and it's
classic.
powerful. Yeah, that's right. Silent K down to 420 points. So he's such a cool model. It's always fun to see him on the table.
It's beautiful. But the Void Dragon's also beautiful. You should eventually get the Void Dragon.
Yeah.
It's not good, but it's cool.
He's just, yeah. The Silent King is such a power trip when you play him because he like works. The Void Dragon, kind of like a lot of the Catans, it's like so much work. It's like, okay, I'm gonna like scurry here and then jump out. I'm gonna fight you, and it's like sometimes it's awesome, sometimes it's not awesome. Silent King is always awesome.
Was I playing you with the? No, I think I was playing John with the Void Dragon.
Yeah, I don't think I've even played the Void Dragon. I played
It
the other
was bad.
Oh no.
John like made it so that I had to respect. He had like a Moloch. Whoa! Did our camera go out?
Yeah.
Oh no, what just happened?
Hello, darkness.
How long have we been a black screen?
No, just now. Maybe the battery
okay.
died.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's right.
It's not plugged in.
We didn't plug it in.
Well, I'll just grab a new battery.
We're still here, guys.
oh my
Hello.
legs. Oh, I stood up.
Ah.
But yeah, so he was like moving so that I had to respect his deep strike with a Moloch because it could basically one shot the Catan.
Yeah.
So I was like, the Catan were in literally on my backboard edge turn 2. It was bad. I was a sad panda. How are we gonna do this?
What? You're gonna plug it in.
Yeah, but it's gonna okay. Well,
Gonna wig out.
Can't get any worse than it is
Yeah.
now.
Chris says, yeah, we're a podcast now. We're
Oh.
3 white guys with opinions.
Yeah.
this should be a
podcast.
podcast.
I was thinking we should switch seats, and when the camera comes back on, we're in different seats.
Oh, that'd be funny, but you told them.
Why can't? What am I doing?
What are
There
you-
it is.
Why aren't you using? What? Just.
There's a power. Yeah, there's.
I'm
a
glad
power
they're all
cable.
listening to this.
There's a power cable there, but yeah, we act like because they can't see us, nothing else matters.
Oh, chat. I'm sorry. Chat, I'm sorry. Oh God.
Beautiful.
I need it. Oh, let me. Sorry, chat. Hold on. I'm gonna
Okay,
put you
well,
down.
we can do a question here.
You're getting the little view of the lights on
Yeah.
the side. I like it.
Sorry, chat.
Got some Titans train on the
Thanks,
side.
Bridger. Thank you, Jacob.
You
So-
might need to turn it a little bit.
Which way?
Towards you. There you go.
There.
There you go.
We did it.
We did a chat. That was a live battery change.
Thank you, Jacob. So what do you guys think about the point changes for Necrons? I'm loving it. Destroyer cult's getting cheaper, and the planes going down. Is Scorpekh DS fun times? Sorry.
It's Scorpekh Deep Strike Fun Times.
Broke sack.
Yeah.
No, you're relying on a 9-inch charge. You've no way to get +1. You don't get free rerolls.
You're a fool.
You bring them in on the plane?
Yes, that's what they're saying.
Ah.
The planes, which are cheaper now, fly in, and they can come in much closer. I think it ends up being like 6. Because they're also core now.
That's okay. You can't do it
Yes, you can't do turn 1.
turn 1.
But here's the thing. You're taking 18 Scorpeks. That's fine.
Yeah, you could just leave 6 in strategic reserve. That's fine.
It's a thought.
I'm into that. Because then, even if they kill the plane, you still just come in on the
Reserve, yeah.
board edge, and you have 12 already on the table. So yeah, I'm into it.
No, we really like the new stuff. It's exciting. I'm excited. Gotta get more Scorpeks.
Whoa, what is...
Yeah, thank you. Now, I don't know...
That's...
I don't know how to say
Cyrillic.
Let's see. We got a super chat from this user. I'm going to post their name here. And if anyone knows how
Did you at them? Oh, you're just asking people how to pronounce that?
Yeah, if anyone knows how to pronounce that.
I like it.
Let us know. Thank you for, they say, thanks for the report, and we're saying thank you for the support.
Thank you. We really greatly appreciate the support.
Yeah. Happy to come back if we get a way to pronounce this. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Gene Stealer John. Finally.
Aesop?
Yeah, I thought maybe it was like Aesop. Should we just...
But that's not a Russian name, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, Aesop is not a Russian name. It's an African name.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to move on. It seems... Maybe, I don't know. Okay, finally finishing my Exorcist. This is Gene Stealer John, and thank you, Gene Stealer John. Exorcist Space Marines after a year of painting, but with 3 kids, that's the way it goes. Anyway, I'm starting Necrons next. Is a monolith considered BM casually, or is it cool?
Oh, good question. No, I think it's safe. Tell them that it has a portal mod that can eat them up in one. You know, mostly just tell them the tooth tricks. That thing which can get people off guard, and 2, obviously bringing in very, very close. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, where it's like, it's not competitive, but in a casual game, it's kind of, you know, it's BM.
Right, yeah.
But to me, I think this one's okay. It's in a fine spot. What do you guys think?
The monolith? Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Don't worry about it. Enjoy.
Thank you, Mr. C. How did Necrons feel this game? Everybody in the Necrons, so much. I didn't get to watch because of work, but I fear that points changes doesn't fix their main problem, and I love my robos.
So 2 things. Yeah, it doesn't fix the fundamental problems.
I don't know if this game was a great representation of the Necron points changes. You had a ton of extra tools that you didn't need.
Because I had all those extra points.
Well, the points give you 1 new tool that you used on an Arcana, didn't you? Like, you just bought garbage.
I ended up getting 115 extra points.
Okay, so
and
you
to
got...
be frank, I didn't fully lean into all the
all the cheap stuff?
Cheap stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of just, you know, put what I wanted to play,
right.
to be honest. It definitely feels better. Look, 30 points for Scorpekh feels right. Just gonna keep talking about Scorpekh because I'm very excited about them.
It's it's the most impactful change. Yeah, really.
They do need more. You know, be real about it.
Did we get a pronunciation?
Fedor?
Fedor.
Fjordor?
Shalimov, someone's saying?
Fedor? Yeah, well, thank you, Fedor.
Awesome.
See that?
Thank you.
It's a Russian name.
Yeah.
Not Aesop.
Yeah, sorry we called you Aesop. That was probably weird for you.
I was wondering why you guys were like, I guess if you squint and...
If you squint really hard.
Well, because people do that, right? They like make their names with like weird characters.
Right, yeah.
And stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like
Aesop?
this great fan donating to us from Russia, and we're like, thanks, Aesop? Why did I been called that before my life? Sorry, Fedor, and thank you so much. Okay, more Necrons chat. Thank you, Baron of Repair. Great game tonight. I'm always glad to see Necrons.
Woo!
What would you do to fix the Necrons in general?
So media changes. Make protocols much better. Well, first of all, you don't have to, we would like for them to be more impactful. But first of all, you don't have to have the noble. You don't have them emanate from characters, and you don't have to pick them all pregame. Let them at the start of each turn pick the one that they're going to use, and if it's your specialty one, you get both. That would not be crazy at all to me.
Yeah.
And it'd be kind of good. The fallback and shoot would be the best one by far.
Yeah.
Because you get it exactly when you need it. Yeah.
Followed by +1 strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
The rest are really nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe, actually, this might make the Living Metal one more vaguely relevant sometimes.
Right, because you're like, I really want to get top bracket with this thing or whatever.
This turn, I need top bracket here, or, oh, my Catan, is it 2 wounds, but if I get him to 4 wounds, he makes it through another phase, right? Like,
Yeah. It'd be so much more
might
interesting.
make it relevant.
Yeah.
That's a start to Necrons.
It's a start.
I would honestly just Necron Codex 2.0. I would scrap it and start over.
You think entirely. Interesting.
Because they have all these garbage strats that nobody cares about, and they need interesting strats that are cool. Like, they're going down this road of 8th edition Drukhari, where it's like their only identity can really be edging you out on stats. It's like, I'll just be a little cheaper than I need to be, and I'll get like +1 AP sometimes, get an extra mortal wounding sometimes, and I'll edge you out on stats and I'll win because I'm more efficient.
Yeah.
Which isn't cool.
Yeah.
It also doesn't make me think Necrons.
Yeah. No, that's fair. They do need, yeah, I agree.
They need an identity, and the Codex is kind of lacking in identity.
It's fair.
Thank you, Broken Chef. Notice when I chatted, I was awarded a 1-year badge. I have had a heck of an adventure and wanted to thank you all for being there. John is a fiend. John is a fiend.
He is a
John is a
fiend.
He steals everything. He carries around an emotional support Harridan that supports him emotionally by beating up other people.
It's messed up. It's messed up.
It was brutal. Every time it shot, it would kill 1 or 2 squads of Custodes.
Oh my god.
And every time it fought, it would kill 1 of anything. I was like, okay, John, I have like 8 units, so the Harridan can solo me in like 3 turns.
Well, Broken Chef, we've been glad to have you around for a year,
Yes.
and you've been doing a lot of painting. I know I appreciate you popping into Hobby Titans when we're streaming, so the feeling is mutual for sure.
It's so cool. A year.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 year badge. That's a badge. So that means, did we have memberships a year ago?
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild.
Wow. Here we are.
Glad to have you, Broken Chef. Here's to the future.
Yeah. Thank you, Swerveter. How feasible do you think it would be for GW to release all factions core rules at the start of 10th edition, then drip release kits, data sheets, strats, armies of renown, secondaries, etc., as they usually do?
So wait, what would they release then?
Well, this
The
is
Codex
almost
is,
what
I think.
happened when 7th moved to 8th. Seems like you're describing, to some extent, what happened when 7th went to 8th.
Right.
And look, I've said that I know people said a lot of stuff flavor was toned down when they did that, but I got a lot of my best games in, most fun, balanced games, right when 8th dropped.
Flattens everything.
And there were some crazy things that you could do, like Crisis suits were crazy bad, and Crisis commanders. But I did kind of like that system. I think there's probably a medium there.
Yeah, because the tough thing is, so remember when we went from 7th to 8th, there was a fundamental rewrite of all the games.
Yeah.
So none of the rules could possibly work, so they did that. They could do that again for 10th edition, but think about everything we're going to lose. Like, yes, things could be more balanced from the start, but at what cost? Like, all the flavor, these books, say what you will about them, but they are very flavorful, have so many different layers, and so for everyone to just lose everything, for that benefit, doesn't feel like enough to me. It would be cool if, like, let's say 10th edition comes out, and they have, like, some kind of starter package that maybe is like every army gets an update for 10th edition. Here's your 10th edition update, and this will change a few things about your book, maybe simplify things or whatever. But I wouldn't want to wipe it so clean, personally, because then it takes 2 years for people to get any rules. Can you imagine going 2 years now without strats again?
Yeah, the idea of drip feeding kits and rules and stuff, it depends on what's in core rules. Like, you would want faction, like your chapter tactic and stuff to be in core rules. So everybody starts with chapter tactics, some basic strats or something.
To be honest, I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
But then the least popular factions will be in the same situation. It's the same thing where you don't get a codex for a long time, just slightly different. Like you have a chapter. We already have a chapter tactic before you release. You just have last year's book. It's not really any different.
You almost start with
You almost get less. Yeah. I think this is better. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Oh, hey, Megan super chatted.
Yeah, thank you, Megan, again. She was just letting you know about Tony wanting to get in touch with you.
Oh.
We did this.
Okay, maybe you were
Look,
right about him.
I can't say anything
Wait, did you say
because I'm a mess too.
Meg
so.
last? Did you? Is that what you?
Yeah, we said
Oh,
Meg.
jeez. All right. Well,
And
Thanks,
thank you,
Meg.
Garrett. Garrett, I'm pretty sure I understand your message, but let me know if I have it wrong. Bridger, I literally worked for playing with Power Magic the Gathering. tried to get you on. I'm no longer with them.
What? You did try to get me on, but they said no? Or,
I don't know.
you know what, either way, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate
And if
it.
anything does come of this, or you just want to chat Magic, let's talk. We'll just talk.
What's up?
Thank you again, Siege Rooch. Just throwing this out there, GW gave army-specific secondaries as a constellation prize for no codex release in their near future. Rest in peace, those armies. He's talking like about Guard. They showed that, right?
Yeah.
Look, I think they've been releasing kind of these. Adrian mentioned the Soulblight update.
Yeah.
They've been releasing these White Dwarf, pretty sizable little chunks per army for Sigmar, and I mean that they have the next one's for Bone Reapers, I think, and I think some of these are. This is an interesting system. I like it.
I've been loving it for Sigmar.
Yeah.
Because they have been getting the armies up to speed much faster than 40k, to be honest.
Right, and the catch with it is, everyone goes, well, I don't want to have to go buy a White Dwarf and then have a White Dwarf, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the catch is that they have been really on top of updating the app with this, and these are for older books, so they're all free for everybody right now anyway.
Oh, cool.
So, if you go in and go Death and Soulblight Gravelords,
Right.
all the new stuff is reflected.
That's awesome.
And you don't need the Codex or the Battle Tome, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting system. I sort of wish 40k would do that.
Yeah, I mean, frequent updates are what fixes, like, balance problems are open wounds in a game,
Yeah.
and if you leave them, they get infected and people leave. Like, it's
Yeah.
bad for the game, right?
Yeah.
And it's annoying to have to bandage these wounds. Like, none of us want to have to read new books all the time, but keep that wound covered, keep putting bandages on it, eventually it'll heal. We won't have that problem anymore. Like, we need to have balance updates, and eventually we'll be used to a system where the game will be more balanced, so it will need smaller updates, and the updates maybe can be less frequent. But right now, there's gaping problems that we got to treat these.
Yeah.
Can't just let it fester.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Jacob. Do you think Scorpekh Destroyers would be broken if they got one more wound or T6?
What up, Jacob?
Scorpekh to 4 wounds? That's a big break point.
I don't think they'd be broken. I think they'd be very
At
good.
30 points? For 4 wounds?
Yeah, why not?
Woof.
Bridger's referencing that there's not a lot of damage 4 weapons, but there are some damage 3 weapons out there, right?
Right. Yeah. And they're already pretty durable. They already have -1 to wound, basically all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like them. I'd like to see it.
T6 is a weird toughness.
T6 is a weird toughness. It's
I don't think it's helpful.
mildly, like what is...
There's not much strength 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 in the game.
Yeah.
The only strength 5 that depending on what the book is like could be about to get crazy would be Tau. They have
Oh,
an
that's a
insane
good
amount
point.
of strength 5.
That's a good point.
And people aren't really like trembling in their boots at intercessor shooting, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not thinking of, that good toughness stuff for that. The wound would be big, but the toughness would not.
The wound would be huge.
It'd be awesome.
There's-
Look at this. Think about this. An Urgwool and a Scorpekh have the same number of wounds. Riddle me that. Look at those models.
Urgles are tiny. Why do they have 3 wounds?
It's so crazy.
I think Court of the Archon's just a stupid unit.
It's wild.
They just like...
That
The person who wrote
book
that
is
data
just
sheet-
weird. That
It's
person
so
who wrote that
weird.
book.
Yeah.
Well, that data sheet in particular, the person who wrote it has clearly never seen the models.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just don't know what any of these
Yeah,
things
yeah.
are. They're like,
How many
oh,
ones
wouldn't
do
it
the
be cool?
snake guys have? 6.
3 as well.
They have 3 in the
Yeah.
Urgos. 3?
Wouldn't it be cool
Yeah.
if...
At least they're bigger though.
No,
But they have the same wounds as
I could see them having 3.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Scorpekh Destroyers, I could see having more. Like, narratively and just looking at the model, I'm with you. Like, I could see them.
It's not like you get a wound per leg or anything, you know?
What else is... Okay, let's say they got both 1 extra wound and T6. What is,
Jesus!
or let's just
Calm
say
down, Zach.
one or the other. One or the other.
Okay, one or the
What
other.
I'm asking for is what matches that in the game? What's something with 4 wounds?
Centurions have 4 wounds.
Oh, Outrider.
Outriders.
Outrider.
And it was ridiculous when they made the Outrider, and we were like, 4 wounds? Everybody's accepted it now, but
they're
it's
not
still
ridiculous now.
anomalous.
So
They're
They're
weird.
T5.
They are
Yeah.
T5, yeah.
in some ways,
Scorpekh T5, 4 wounds makes sense compared to an Outrider.
yeah, the only question to me would be if they should go back up in points a little bit.
Well,
31 points.
Okay. Thank you,
He doesn't want to.
Ulyss. How much to get a 60 Flayed Ones list, all with Chrono Guards for 5++, potentially 5 attacks per model, 1 unit attacking twice?
How much? What does that mean? How much?
How
to
many
get?
points? Or how many dollars?
I think
To
just
make
means
us do it.
I think like how much cool.
It would be so cool. How much are Flayed Ones now? Do they go down? We need to get
I'll
more
bet they
Flayed
went
Ones.
down. They're not. Yeah, I'll bet they went down.
They're cool. Let's take a look. Flayed Ones.
Let's do anything.
Is that the whole list? That's
I mean, it's not the whole list, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a thesis.
Does this do anything?
It's a thesis.
Dude, Flayed Ones are only 10 points.
Yeah,
That's
so we're
good.
talking like
That's cheap.
800 points with the characters. So half your army, a little less than half your army is giant bricks of Flayed Ones.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
I think he likes it.
I don't know. I
He's into
can't.
it.
I can't figure it out. Like
He can't figure it out.
He's like crashing. He's going
Yeah.
down fast.
people. I mean, nobody plays stuff like this anymore. We just haven't seen anything like this in a long time.
Yeah, when we commissioned Israel, we didn't ask him for 60 Flayed Ones.
No, I don't mean Flayed Ones specifically.
No, yeah, but
I
you're
mean-
right. It's
Archetypally, armies where you just have a ton of big durable squads.
Uh-huh.
We don't see that. Oh, I guess Dark Angels. This is kind of like Dark Angels, except this is way less durable in every way, and fights less well
Well, it's also
in every way.
a fourth of the cost. You can
Yeah.
compare a 10-point model to
Yeah.
a 40-point model and say that they're worse.
But here's the thing: the 60 Flayed One, you're all in on Flayed Ones, right? Like you're trying to make this is
Okay.
a significant portion of your strategy.
Yeah, you're about Flayed One life, for sure.
Dark
Flayed
Angels
One life.
barely scrape by at the end of the game, like they're alive.
Okay, this is a
Barely.
weird comparison, but okay.
But that's what this
Are you
list
gonna
does.
bring
Is
it
it
back
floods
around?
the board. If like you can't hide these units, they're gigantic. It floods the board. This list has to survive. It doesn't. It's fighting you in the streets. It's not hiding. You can't hide 60 Flayed Ones. You're gonna fight your opponent.
I could hide.
You can't hide. You're fighting your
I
opponent.
can hide anything.
I can hide anything.
And if you say you're gonna deep strike them, no, you're not.
They're
It's-
not. They didn't get core, did they?
I think they did.
Oh no, okay. Your list is saying how much to get you guys to play a list like that.
Oh.
We don't- we own
so I don't have
zero
to buy
Flayed
that
Ones.
many Flayed Ones to try it out.
Oh, it's funny because I would say you'd have to buy us the Flayed Ones so we can try
And
it out.
paint them. We own 0 Flayed Ones. We're not gonna build and paint 60
no.
Flayed Ones.
We own 5. They're still on sprue from that Kill Team box.
Okay, we own 0 Flayed Ones. You would have to build and paint them.
You know, I will say this. Maybe in like October, I can imagine a painting queue. That
60
Adrian
Flayed
and I
Ones?
could- 60 Flayed Ones would go fast. That'd be fast.
could make a day of
why?
it.
But
That'd be
why,
a fast
Zach?
game.
We would
Because
play it
it'd be
once and
cool.
never again.
No, that is not true. I would play them every single time.
60 Flayed
No,
Ones.
there is a degree to which Bridger brings up a good point for this channel,
Okay,
which
maybe
is
not
like
60.
right. I was gonna say like maybe
52.
40.
40 is still. I would do
40 is
30.
still a lot. You're
Two
right.
bucks of 20 is cute.
2
I would
bucks
do
is 20. Yeah,
A
like
20 and a 10 is what I would do.
To his point, like you know, how many times are we gonna run
60 Flayed Ones. Once.
He says that,
Precisely
but he would be
once.
the first person to run it.
We'll do it twice a year.
Twice.
No, Adrian. We own, like, between my collection and Brian,
Yeah.
we own like 40 Custodes bikes.
Yeah.
How many times have I played 27? Zero.
enough.
0 times.
Well, you should. You should be doing
No,
that.
wrong
because
with
it's a bad. It makes for bad games, guys.
That's fair. I don't think
Bad
this does
television.
not make for a bad game. Though.
I think it might.
Nah, we could.
I'm going down that road.
Niels wants to add 27 scarabs. To
This
the
list is so bad.
Again, this
Oh
is
my
actually
God.
not a. This remains a fairly easy painting process.
I
This
have
is
27 scarabs.
insanely bad.
Even it's just even getting.
I love scarabs.
So now can we go down the road
Okay,
of
no, yeah.
how does this list work?
No, yeah.
Because you can't hide any of
He's
this.
making it worse. Okay, don't.
You
don't do
can't hide
27
anything in this
scarabs.
army. It's just trying to survive.
No, don't do
This is
that.
Dark Angels, but worse in every way.
What about this versus? I don't know.
How do you make a good
Death
game out of
Guard.
this? That could be a good game.
Oh my
I think you
God.
found one.
Look, I think
matchup that could
chat's.
be good.
I think chat's down for it. They like it.
Of course, chat will take any meme that we throw at them. They're like, yeah, 3 town
They
R,
love
go
it.
for it. Like,
love
we own 0 town R, so sorry.
Also not true.
Do we own a town R?
Brian has
He hasn't painted it though.
one,
Doesn't
maybe
count.
2 unpainted.
It doesn't count.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can't. We have so much unpainted Warhammer. None of that
It
counts.
still counts.
There's a room
None of
full
that
of stuff
counts.
Brian does not paint it, and we're like, Brian, you gotta come back and paint this stuff, buddy.
Did we do it?
We did it.
Woof.
We did it, y'all. Thanks so much for joining us. This has been The Good Talk with Warzone Nachmund. It's awesome. We're super excited for the future of Warhammer. Let's talk about what's coming up, yeah? So, as we mentioned, Titan's Terrain, you can now pre-order it on titansterrain.com. We do have the first copies back from the manufacturers, so we are moving right along. And we will be at LVO with a booth, so come on by, say hi. We'll be out at the booth, hanging out, manning at different portions of the weekend. We'll be playing some games on it. And you can check it out and see it in person. You can also you can pre-order from there if you prefer that. We will put the description down below in the Good Talk. And yeah, next Tuesday, members only game, we are going to be playing an LVO prep. So come on by if you want to see what that would look like, what player placed terrain looks like, because that's a whole nother ball game. It's going to be awesome. Other things in our world, we dropped not one, but 2 hobby videos this week. We've got one on doing GSC banners. We've also got one on basically upgrading terrain, cool techniques for doing grass tufts, and we actually take some out-of-the-box terrain and level it up, right?
Yep.
So much cool stuff going on. Again, we're going to be doing lots of coverage from LVO, so keep your eyes peeled for that. That's going to be it for us. We'll catch you all next time on the Tabletop.
Bye.